So today I want to take kind of a deep dive and really try to pry apart the layers and dig into this really difficult to answer question. We're going to look at all the nuance. We're going to weigh all the arguments on both sides. And we're going to pick this apart and see if we can find an answer to one of the most difficult questions that plagues humanity today. Should trans kids be allowed to exist? Yes.
Howdy, y'all. It's Emmett Woosley here today, and I want to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart. Something that I spend an enormous amount of time and emotional energy thinking about and worrying about. Something that is very, very important to me. And that is the issue of transgender children. Now. I ain't got a goddamn thing against trans people. Whatever you want to do in the privacy of your own britches is none of my business. I don't give a shit if you got a dingle dangler or a sloppy hole, okay? But listen to me. What's going on right now is they're trying to transgenderize all these little children. And that is not okay with me. Now, here's the problem, right? You might be saying, now, Emmett, if somebody's a transgender, then they're probably already a transgender when they're a children. But listen, okay, I understand that. But what you don't fucking understand is that if we allow any children to transition at such a young age, what we are doing is we are leaving them vulnerable to abusive parents who want to force their children to transgender. And we should never, ever, under any circumstances, force a child to identify as a gender that they don't associate with. That's just evil. So we cannot allow children to transgenderify themselves. Because listen, what if you change your mind later? Have you ever thought of that? What if you decide that you don't want to be a transgender? Well, guess what? It's too late. You already cut your little wheelie off. Imagine a world where we could just solve all our problems by going to the doctor. Listen, I understand. I identify as somebody who doesn't have gonorrhea, but it ain't like I can just go to the doctor and get that cleared up. You know what I mean? You have to live in the real world. You gotta play with the hand that God dealt you. You understand what I'm saying? I just worry that these little children are going to be forced to live a life that they don't feel comfortable with. And that's just not okay with me. So we should not allow any children to transgender. That is my final word on the issue.
Yes, kids should be allowed to transition. This doesn't seem like a huge fucking issue to me. I was going to make a response video about this, but I was watching all the conservative arguments and they're just so fucking stupid that they were pissing me off. They were making me mad, and not like in a funny haha, let's laugh at Stagz while he yells kind of a way, but more in a like depressing, why am I even wasting my time with this bullshit kind of a way. As far as I can ascertain, the meat of the argument against kids transitioning is that it makes me feel icky and scared, and I don't like it. And that's just not really a good argument, is it? Right? Like they get this one kid, they'll find one kid who's being forced to transition or detransition for some reason or another. But yeah, whatever we do, we're gonna have problems. There's always gonna be parents that abuse their kids. And that's something that we're going to have to police in society. We have laws for all that kind of stuff. Oh, but what about kids undergoing life-altering surgery when they're not even past puberty? When has that ever happened? Whomst. Notice that they're not digging up broad swaths of statistics here. They're just finding like these individual cases. They've got like a handful of kids that they use. Really just one or two. Really just one that they use. And they've got nothing. Their argument is nothing. There's no substance there at all. It's entirely built on straw men. Oh yeah, you don't want to force a kid to be something that makes them feel uncomfortable or something that they don't identify with. Oh yeah, that's my argument too. That's what I'm saying. If the doctors and everybody involved, the kid, the parents, everybody agrees that this is what's right for the kid, then who the fuck are you to say that it isn't? Oh, but I found this one case of a kid being forced to transition. Okay, well, I can find a case of a parent straight up fucking their kid to death. So, like, is that mean that parents shouldn't be allowed to have kids at all? There's always going to be edge cases. There's always people going to be abusing the system, which isn't even really what's happening here, but that's always going to happen. You're always going to have bad people that want to do bad things, or confused people who misunderstand the facts and want to do things from some misguided sense of helpfulness or whatever. That's always going to be the case. You've got parents that force their kids to be vegan. That doesn't mean that veganism is bad. And before you say, oh, but that's not life-altering, neither is anything that's happening to kids who are transitioning. None of it is permanently life-altering. If they want to detransition, then they can. But the number of people who detransition is so small, and more than half of the people who detransition do so because of a lack of support. And a lot of them end up retransitioning later on. Listen, changing your gender is not some frivolous undertaking. This is not some, oh, I woke up this morning and decided I don't want to have a pee-pee anymore, so I'm going to the doctor this afternoon to get it chopped off. That is not how this works. That is not how anything works ever at all. Most people who want to transition have to go through way more bullshit than they're prepared for. This is so fucking stupid. This is the stupidest reactionary fucking argument out today, and I fucking hate it. And thank you for listening to my little ranty rant about it. I hope that I had something to say here that made any sense at all. You might think my opinion on this doesn't matter because I'm a mostly straight, mostly cis, mostly man. But I do have kids. I do have kids who are about that age. They're, 9 and 11. So this is actually relevant to me. And I do have opinions. And my voice matters. My drop goes in the bucket with everybody else's. So thanks. Maybe we'll take you out with some more Emmett. How's that? Will that make you feel better?
But let's just get real for a second here, folks. Okay? Let's cut through all the bullshit, all the nonsense, all the opinions, and get right down to the very scientific facts of the matter. And that is the obvious thing, that all this transgender movement, all this sex stuff, all this LGBTQPIT, all this stuff is a ploy from the Dark Lord Beelzebub to confuse us about our sexuality so that we stop having children and the demons can reign over Earth once more again. You understand, it's clear, it's plain as day for anyone who has eyes to see, right? Because God made us in his image, male and female, right? God is both male and female. We say he when we talk about God only because that's the better word than she. It's a more respectful word to call someone he than to call someone she. That's a higher position in society. And so God created us out of himself and herself to make male and female humans. He made it real simple for us to figure out. You either got a pokey stick or you got a screw hole. Real simple, real easy, right? But now the devil comes down, right? Baphomet, goat head, titties, got them titties, right? And then them two children. And what that represents is that Baphomet, in a reverse breastfeeding scenario, sucks the gender out of the two little children and into its tits. That's what that Baphomet statue represents. And that is the most evil, vile thing that I could possibly imagine. And the goal of this is to confuse us and to mix us up so we don't know who we're supposed to want to fuck anymore. You understand? This is the real trick. This is where they get you. It used to be real simple, real easy. You see a lady, you think, all right, I want to stick my pecker in her stank hole, right? But now it's like, I don't even know if she's got a stank hole. Maybe she's got a pecker too. And then what am I going to try to do? Stick my pecker in her pecker? That don't even make no sense. And what would we whap them together? Like, pow, pow. Or like, you know what I mean? What if two people have vaginas? There's no possible way that they will be able to like. Anyway, I gotta go. You understand. I gotta go.